What's going on, everyone? So Zach Lowe said that his title contenders this year are the Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I don't know about this particular order, but let's dive into it and talk about it, because I do think he's right about those five teams being the contenders. We'll see what happens with Miami, right? If Miami gets Damian Lillard, I don't think you can write them off. I think that they could be in that conversation as well. But these are the five that are most likely to be in that contention conversation this upcoming season. Now, Denver, they're a team that you got to put in there. You got to put up there. Now, no team has gone back-to-back since the Golden State Warriors, back Kevin Durant. So, time this last, 4 years or whatever it's been, I will tell you that Denver's probably not winning again this year, but they are definitely good enough to do that. I do think Denver will take a step back this year, though, because I think Bruce Brown was very important for them, and so is Jeff Green. I think losing both of those guys, they lost a lot of the depth that they need, and two very important pieces on their run, right? They were using Jeff Green as like their backup center behind Jokic, and Bruce Brown was very important, very significant, especially in that Lakers series, that I think that those losses are going to hurt. How much, we will see. Time will tell. But I do think it's going to be an impact. I also think you have what all contenders face. Everyone is coming for you. Every team wants to be the team that beats you. Every team wants to be the team that embarrasses you. Every team wants to be the team that knocks you out. And they're going to have to face that. Plus you have the championship hangover, where you see a lot of teams, like even the Warriors last year, right? You see those teams after they win the championship, they struggle a little bit. Things kind of become a little different. A lot of that is just you tired from the previous run, and now you have all of these guys and all of these teams just coming for you. But Denver is definitely a team that is up there, and I do believe will be one of the better teams in the NBA this year. Next up, the Boston Celtics. I actually think Boston is going to be worse. And I think that is something that, I'm not saying that they're not going to be a contender. I'm not saying that they're not going to be one of the better teams in the league. I absolutely think that'll happen. I think the loss of Marcus Smart is going to hurt them tremendously, because now they have no clear-cut leader. They lost the one kind of dog that they have, right? And I don't think that Kristaps Porzingis was what they needed. Right? I don't think that they needed a younger, upgraded Al Horford. I think that they needed to just kind of stick to the course and get another blue chip guy or two, and they would have been right there. Their issue is just mental toughness. I've said it the last few years. It's why I said the Warriors were going to beat them. It's why I said that I thought Miami would beat them. I actually think Philly would have beaten Miami. But I figured Miami would beat the Celtics because Miami just seems to have their number, and they're a mentally tough team. Boston is not. And their stars completely disappear at times. Jason Tatum will have 30 through three quarters and then go completely disappearing Houdini act in the fourth, right? And you lost your one guy that was the guy that got in people's faces and had no problem calling people out. That was the leader and the alpha of that team. I think that's going to hurt them tremendously. They already have drama, with Brogdon, right? He looks like he may end up being out with the Celtics. And there's questions about the coaching. Kristaps Porzingis already injured, right? He got injured in FIBA. It's just, I'm not sold on the Celtics. Now, if they won the championship, would anyone be surprised? No, of course not. They're still going to be a very good team. I wasn't sold on Boston the last 2 years, and I'm definitely not sold on them now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a first or second round exit, right? Because I don't think that, I think that they're going to miss Marcus Smart more than they realize. And I don't think that they should have traded Marcus Smart. I think if you wanted to go get Kristaps Porzingis, you should have done something else. You should have traded something else, trade Derek White, whatever. I know that they're hoping Derek White can kind of be the Marcus Smart replacement. I just don't think he's that guy. He's talented, don't get me wrong. Very talented. Fits this roster very nicely. But they're going to miss Marcus Smart in the locker room. But moving on, the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix is the biggest question mark in the entire league to me. Because on one hand, you look at this roster and it's like, just give them the NBA trophy now. But on the other hand, you look at this roster and it's like they are extremely top heavy, have zero defense, and very questionable. There's talks about DeAndre Ayton potentially on his way out, right? There were recent reports. I mean, it may have even happened by the time you see this video. I mean, because the reports look like the Dame trade may end up happening soon. And depending on when you're watching this video, it may have happened. But there's talks about DeAndre Ayton potentially being traded in a deal with Portland and them getting Nurk. I think Nurk would be a better fit for them because Ayton is a guy that's already complained about his touches, and now he's the fourth guy where he was like the second or third guy previously behind Devin Booker and Chris Paul. So I don't know how that works. How does Bradley Beal fit with this roster? Because he's supposed to be the point guard now, right? Like, is he going to be okay being the third option and going from, 23 a game or whatever he is to like 15? Because it's probably what's going to happen, right? They want Devin Booker to play some point guard, Kevin Durant to play some point. Like, it's just, this roster just has so many flaws, in my opinion. They are absolutely talented and absolutely stacked on the front end. And I do think that they filled this roster out nicely. But there's a part of me that wouldn't be surprised if they lost in the first round, and there's a part of me that feels like they could win the NBA championship. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like it genuinely could go either way. Right? Like, I'm not super sold on Phoenix. I think that they're going to be excellent offensively. I think they're going to be a huge liability defensively. And they're going to be just so ISO and jump shot heavy. That's usually not a form of great success. Not saying that they can't have success. Not saying that they can't be that team or that roster. I don't know if they're going to be able to be that. I don't think that they're going to be that roster that is just taking over and they're just dominating the league and running away with it. I mean, they may be very good in the regular season. That could be a possibility. But I think come playoff time, when things start tightening up, teams are more physical. Like, I just think Phoenix may start falling apart. And look, Kevin Durant is injury prone. Bradley Beal is injury prone. Devin Booker has had his injury concerns lately. If Phoenix has Devin Booker and Kevin Durant out for any significant amount of time, I mean, Phoenix could be a play-in team, right? Because, I mean, Bradley Beal wasn't even able to make the play-in with the Washington Wizards, right? If Kevin Durant misses a month and Devin Booker misses a month or something like that, Phoenix is going to start sinking and drowning fast. So that's a real problem too. But, on the surface, on paper at least, they are definitely a threat, right? And then Milwaukee. How much does the Giannis, just rumors and talk and stuff, how much does that kind of linger and affect Milwaukee? Milwaukee's going to be probably the best team in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be one of the top 3 teams in the entire league this year because they do have the best player in Giannis, and they have guys with familiarity, and they did get some nice pieces, but does all the Giannis talk become a distraction? That's a real question mark. Can Giannis stay healthy? That's a real question mark. Can Middleton stay healthy? That's a real question mark. Milwaukee is definitely a team that could easily win another championship, and I don't think anyone would be concerned with that. And this Milwaukee Bucks team, though, they're a team that it feels like last year they needed to get younger, and they didn't. They basically just said, hey, let's run it back, which, in their defense, what else were they supposed to do this year? What else were they supposed to do this offseason? They kind of were in that predicament. It's not like there was like a bunch of great free agents. And I imagine Malik Beasley remembers how to shoot again, which he completely forgot how to shoot for us, right? So hopefully for Milwaukee's sake, he becomes a good 3-point shooter again, which that would be huge for them. Milwaukee, in my opinion, is probably the most likely to come out of the East because Philly is probably going to implode. Like I said, the Celtics, I'm just not sold on the Celtics. We'll see if Miami gets Dame, right? But the Bucks, I think they're the most likely roster to come out of the East. Like, if I had to pick somebody to come out of the Eastern Conference, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. It kind of feels like they're heading for a disappointing season, and the Giannis conversation is really going to ramp up, and it's going to become a big thing, and we'll see. Again, time will tell, but I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee is a first or second round exit, right? But I at the same time think that they very likely are the representatives out of the Eastern Conference. And then the Lakers. Lakers are winning the championship. That's all there is. Video over. No, but on a serious note, look, they are the deepest team in the entire league. I expect them to be number one, top three at the worst defensively. I think they'll be top five offensively. To put that in perspective, only the Boston Celtics last year were top five in offense and defense. Lakers should be there. Lakers, front to back, have the best roster and should win the NBA championship, right? You have the only team with 2 top 10 players. You have a ridiculous amount of depth. You have 6 guys on any given night that could go off for 20 to 30 points. You have Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Christian Wood, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura. Any of those guys could go off on any given night. You got ridiculous size, versatility, switchability, everything you need. This is probably the deepest Lakers roster we have seen, I don't know, since maybe the 2010 Lakers. I mean, you can maybe even make an argument that this is deeper. And you have all the tools to win. But there's still questions with the Lakers, right? Size at the center position. Jackson Hayes and especially Christian Wood. How are they going to be able to handle like a Jokic if that becomes a thing? With this depth, there is going to be a big question mark of, is everyone going to buy in and be committed? Because you have 5 guys that are going to be expecting 30 minutes a game, and you have probably another 5 guys that are expecting 20 plus a game. And that's probably not going to happen for most of them. There's just no way that you can do that. So Darvin Ham especially is going to have to earn his paycheck this year. He's going to have to manage egos. Everybody's going to have to buy in. And we have seen it's not just putting a roster together. They need to build the chemistry. They need to build the relationships, the understanding. There's still a lot of question marks. Again, Lakers, I fully believe, will be hoisting that Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of this year. But there are definitely concerns and questions. Some of the same issues the Lakers had last year are still going to be a thing. How is their transition defense? How do they defend the pick and roll? Right? Like, again, the size in the interior at the 3-point line. They're definitely going to be better out on the perimeter. They got better shooting. But they're not a perfect team. Like, they're not like, they could be. We'll see. Right? Again, chemistry stuff. I mean, if they're, top 3 offense and number 1 defense, then yeah, they're about as close as it. Or if they're number one, which I wouldn't be surprised. They were 7th last year at a 116 and some change. Sacramento was number 1 at 120 and some change. You don't think the Lakers could average 4 more points a game this year than they did last year? Of course they can. It could be very likely that they have number 1 offense and number 1 defense. And if that happens, then does it get more perfect than that, right? But you got to expect and imagine that there's going to be some hiccups. They're going to have to really put things together. My biggest concern, of course, is just injury. If the Lakers are healthy, good luck beating them. Seriously. Lakers are healthy, good luck. Because the problem with like last year in the Denver series is like nobody showed up, but you had nobody else you could put in. Where it's like if D'Lo doesn't show up, it's like, all right, put in Gabe Vincent. Or go bigger, put in a Taurean Prince or put in a Cam Reddish. If Anthony Davis doesn't have it going, all right, let's throw some more Christian Wood in there. Right? Like there's just, you have several guys where on any night, again, you have 6 guys that go give you 20 to 30. Rui doesn't have it, even if LeBron and AD don't have it one night, Say LeBron and AD are playing terrible and they just don't have it offensively. I mean, between D'Lo, Reeves, Christian Wood, and Rui Hachimura, you'd have enough offensive firepower. And that's not even counting all the other guys trickling in little points here and there. I mean, the Lakers are going to be in an excellent position. Excellent position. So we'll see. Time will tell. But I have all the confidence in the world with the Lakers. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Somewhere in between? However you feel what your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.